Yeah, Shalom Israel, Shalom. Barakatha YaHaWah, Barakatha YaHaWaShi. BaHaSham Qadash. Double honors to the apostle and the elders, a great millstone to teach well and rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim, pushing his truth all over the earth. To the Aquath listening, quietly listening, Shalom. It's your brother Shema from the Pillars of Benjamin camp here in Toronto with another lesson, right? And the title of this lesson is U.S. farm workers becoming ill, right? But it's an article that came out today. Is it today? Yesterday. Every single worker has COVID at a U.S. farm on Harvest Eve, right? So, yeah, the plot thickens, man. Call Allah YaHaWah BaHaSham Qadash. You know? But yeah, let's read it and we'll grab a couple precepts, man. One farm in Tennessee distributed COVID-19 tests to all of its workers after an employee came down with the virus. It turned out that every single one of its roughly 200 employees, right? So 200 employees on this one farm in Tennessee, COVID. In New Jersey, more than 50 workers had the virus at a farm in Gloucester County, adding to nearly 60 who fell ill in neighboring Salem County. Washington State's Yakima County, an agricultural area that produces apples, cherries, pears, and most of the nation's hops, has the highest per capita infection rate of any county on the West Coast. Hops, that's beer. Beer shortage coming. I'm playing. But yeah, the outbreaks underscore the latest pandemic threat to food supply. Farm workers are getting sick and spreading the illness just as the U.S. heads into the peak of the summer produce season. In all likelihood, the cases will keep climbing as more than 500,000 seasonal employees crowd onto buses to move among farms across the country and get housed together in cramped bunk-style dormitories. The early outbreaks are already starting to draw comparison to the infections that plunged the U.S. meat industry into crisis over the past few months. Analysts and experts are warning that thousands of farm workers are vulnerable to contracting the disease. Aside from the most immediate concern, the grave danger that farmhands face, the outbreaks could also create labor shortages. Yep, labor shortages, man. Hey, listen, none of these, you can't ship in these agricultural workers. Listen, homegrown talent's not picking berries, man. Homegrown grassroots, homegrown talent, American made, they're not picking berries, man. They're too prideful. They're not doing it, right? The outbreaks could also create labor shortages at the worst possible time. Produce crops such as berries have a short lifespan, right? The window is small to pick the berries, man, right? With only a couple of weeks during which they can be harvested. If a farm doesn't have enough workers to collect crops in that window, they're done for the season and the fruit will rot. A spike in virus cases among the workers may mean shortages of some fruits and vegetables at the grocery store, along with higher prices. Right, higher prices is in the pipeline, and straight up food shortages is in the pipeline, man. We're already seeing it. Two per household, one per household. Listen, man. We're watching very, very nervously. The agricultural harvest season is only starting now, said Michael Dale, executive director of the Northwest Workers Justice Project in Portland, Oregon, and a lawyer who has represented farm workers for 40 years. I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're prepared. Unlike grain crops that rely on machinery, America's fruits and vegetables are mostly picked and packed by hand in long shifts out in the open. A typically undesirable job in major economies. Yeah, I just said that, man. Homegrown talent is not doing it, right? It's an undesirable job. So the position typically goes to immigrants, who make up about 3/4 of U.S. farm workers. A workforce of seasonal migrants travels across the nation following harvest patterns. Most come from Mexico and Latin America, all right, the northern tribes, through key entry points like Southern California and go further by bus, often for hours, sometimes for days. There are as many as 2.7 million hired farm workers in the U.S., including migrant, seasonal, year-round, and guest program workers, according to the Migrant Clinicians Network. Right. food shortage, sick agricultural workers. 200 at one farm, man. 200. 200. Let's get some precepts, man. So now you're not gonna have no one to pick these the produce, man. And it's a small window to pick them. Second Ezra 15. Second Ezra 16 verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again, and they come upon the earth. Right? The plagues have been sent, man. They're here. Right? The Most High YaHaWah has sent forth these plagues, man. Right? The fire is kindled. Yeah, the fire is kindled, man. Right? And the flames increasing. Right? The fire is kindled. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth. It's not gonna put out until those ICBMs, man. Until it consumes the foundation of the earth, man. And that's those ICBMs, right? Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plague shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again, right? There's no reversal of these plagues, man. Verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? This was the prophet Ezra lamenting, woe is me, who will deliver me, right? This is what Ezra said, man. Right, the visions he was having was some serious visions, man. Had him shook. You see me? Verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. Right? We're seeing it, man. We're seeing the beginning of sorrows, right? The beginning of famine. All right, all these warnings of food shortages, the beginning of famine. We're seeing it on the grocery shelves, right? And great death, right? This COVID thing's gonna wipe out people, right? More plagues gonna come and wipe out people, right? The beginning of wars, we're seeing the jockeying for position between the powers that be, right? China, Russia, Babylon the Great, right? And the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? The Most High YaHaWah sends these things, man. Right? He sends these things, these plagues, as scourges, right? But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of their scourges. Right? They're going to continue on, right? Being wicked, right? Oblivious, aloof, not knowing what's going on, just being wicked, right? Ezekiel chapter 5. Ezekiel chapter 5 verse 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. Right? And this was at Israel. This is on Israel at the time, right? But Deuteronomy 30 verse 7, you know, when I will begin to put the curses of your enemies, I'll put these curses upon your enemies, right? We're seeing that take place, right? So the Most High is breaking the staff of bread. Isaiah 3 verse Isaiah chapter 3, verse 1. For behold, the Lord, the Most High YaHaWah of hosts, hosts being armies, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah, right? Jerusalem and Judah, the northern, the Jerusalem being the northern tribe, Judah being the southern tribe. The stay and the staff, the whole stay of bread, and the whole stay of water, right? That was famine, man. No water, no food. Did that to Judah and Jerusalem, right? Musa Yahweh BaHaSham YaHaWaShi, right? The Spirit's created for vengeance. We know the famine. We know the famine and sword. We know the famine being one of them, man. You know what I mean? Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. You know, a matter of fact, let's get it. It's the second time we've said it, man. These plagues shall fall on your enemies, man. Right? Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. These are the weapons of the Most High, Yahweh BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. And Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Right? So we're seeing these curses line up and just land on our enemies, man. Right? Sirach 39. Sirach 39, verse... Sirach 39, verse 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance. Right? These spirits are created by the Most High Yahweh BaHaSham YaHaWaShi, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. Right? Which in their fury they lay on sore strokes, man. You know? Heavy hits, heavy licks. Right? Strokes. Whips. Right? Heavy hits, man. Sore strokes. Painful hits. Painful strikes. Right? Which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force. In the time of destruction, they make themselves known, man. They pour out their force. And appease the wrath of him that made them. Right? Appease. To please. So they're pleasing the wrath that made them. The Most High, Yahweh BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. They're pleasing the Most High when they lay forth their strokes of judgment. Right? And this is all judgment from the Father, Yahweh BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. All judgment. Here's the point. Verse 29. Fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. Right? The Most High created all these for vengeance, man. Right? I pray edified. Call Allah YaHaWah BaHaSham YaHaWaShi. BaHaSham Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great milestone and teach our rule well. Peace and salutation to the Akim, pushing this truth all over the earth. Kwame Asharala, Abad Babal.